one of the qualities that I admire most about our speaker this morning. She's worked very hard on preparing this message, and I hope you all can receive with open hearts the sermon that she has prepared for you. Introducing sook, Dimond. A round of applause, please.
It's good. Amen.
His warm insides are leaking out. All right. So the title of today's sermon is, Where is the Reset Button?
Good touch.
See if it works. The reset? No?
You're going to put that way.
This way. Okay. All right. So when we talk about a reset button in our life, we talk about moments that we want to try again, do again. We did it wrong the first time. We know that we did it wrong the first time. So if we could just have one last chance to do it one more time, and I'll do it the right way, I swear. You know, so there's moments we say something in a relationship, you know, with our spouse, with our children, with a coworker, and we're like, I should not have said that. I wish I could move it back, go back in time. If I could just try that phrase again, I'd say it differently. You know, like sometimes when, you know, you say, you know, a husband says to their wife, that dress doesn't look very good on you. And they say, what? They're giving you a chance to reset and try it again. They heard you. They just want you to, giving you a chance to rephrase the question. So, and then there's sometimes the life choices we want to reset. You know, there's the finances, you know, our health. You know, sometimes maybe we wish we had chosen a different career path, done something a little different in school. If I could just be back down to my high school weight, that would be really great. And I promise I won't take advantage of it. I'll do the right things every time. I'll maintain. I promise I will. You know, if I could just win the lottery, God, if I could just win the lottery, I promise I'll just pay off all my debts. I'll live right. You know, like, I'll do everything right. I will. I promise I will. And we want this kind of quick fix option. We're really hoping that if I could just, it would just work, and it would be great, and it would be perfect, and our lives would be perfect. So this sermon actually came about a couple months ago. Pastor Shoda was talking about Noah. And I hope you can see that. I should have made it a little bigger. But I just wanted to recap the story of Noah real quick. We know the story for the most part. The Lord saw how great the wickedness of the human race had become on the earth, and that every inclination of the thoughts of the human heart was only evil all the time. The Lord regretted that he had made human beings on the earth, and his heart was deeply troubled. So the Lord said, I will wipe from the face of the earth the human race I have created, and with them the animals, the birds, and the creatures that move along the ground. For I regret that I have made them. God had a moment where he said, man, if I could just reset, if I could just do it again, let me just start from scratch. This is too much. He regrets. You know, this is Noah, it's 10 generations from the time of Adam, the Bible tells us, right? So it's been about 10 generations is 100 years. So it's been 1,000 years from Adam and Eve till the time Noah was born. And it's not, the starting point is not well. It's been 1,000 years and it's not been going well. You know, it's been failure after failure. No one can seem to live up to what God needs after the fall, you know, and then we had Cain who killed Abel, and just as the earth was populating, things were not going well. God said, if I could just reset, maybe we'd have a chance. Maybe things would go well, you know. So amongst all these people, God found Noah, but Noah found favor in the eyes of the Lord. He is, you know, whatever Noah is doing is finding favor. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know how he's living his life up until this point, but Noah found favor. This is the account of Noah and his family. Noah was a righteous man, blameless among the people of his time, and he walked faithfully with God. That's what we know about Noah's life. Okay, so the flood judgment comes. He's building an ark for 120 years. He's like, babe, I gotta do this. God told me. And she's like, cool, you do that. We're gonna build this ark. And yes, 100% supportive. Yes, that's what we think. They don't really talk much about Noah's family so much as so when they mess up. We don't even hear his wife mentioned. I don't know, maybe his wife died, I don't know. We don't really hear about the wife. So Noah's family got the reset button. I think I skipped here. Oh yeah. So after everything was said and done, the flood judgment came and went. They landed on ground. They had, the peace, the symbol of the dove and the peace. And so when God talks about, this is a reflection of how God feels this reset went. This is how he feels the reset went. Before the whole debacle with Ham covering up his father who was naked, drunk and naked. This is before. Even before all that, this is a reflection. He says, never again will I curse the ground because of humans, even though every inclination of the human heart is evil from childhood. And never again will I destroy all living creatures as I have done. And then he goes through a couple of stuff, and then a little bit later, he comes back again, and he says, to Noah, he explains, I establish my covenant with you. Never again will all life be destroyed by the waters of the flood. Never again will there be a flood to destroy the earth. And God said, this is the sign of the covenant I am making between me and you, and every living creature with you, a covenant for all generations to come. I have set my rainbow. We see a rainbow. That's the reminder of the covenant. I set my rainbow in the clouds, and it will be the sign of the covenant between me and the earth. Whenever I bring clouds over the earth and a rainbow appears in the clouds, I will remember my covenant between me and you and all living creatures of every kind. Never again will the waters become a flood to destroy all life. Whenever the rainbow appears in the clouds, I will see it and remember the everlasting covenant between God and all living creatures on every kind on the earth. So God said to Noah, this is the sign of the covenant I've established between me and life on earth. Now, he repeats himself several times. And he says, never again. I believe he says it 4 times. Never again, never again, never again. And a lot of people, when they look at this, they feel like maybe this was a mistake. When they read into it, they're like, God is maybe saying, I tried the reset button, and that was painful. And I don't think I expected it to be that way. I didn't expect it to hurt this bad. I didn't expect it to have this many consequences. And I think there's a lot of people read into this and they say, I think there's some regret in there. I wish I didn't have to do it this way. I wish I hadn't done it. And I will never again, 4 times, never again will I do this. And I have to wonder, when we talk about Noah's family and the reset button, just after the fact, Noah becomes a man of the land. He grows a vineyard. He gets drunk. He makes wine and gets drunk, and Ham covers up his father, maybe because he thinks he's cold. I don't know. But for some reason, this one act has cursed his family because Ham made this one simple mistake, that doesn't really make a lot of sense to us. But the thing is I have to think, what else might have been going on in Noah's family? When we think about, history, we only get tidbits of someone's greatest accomplishments. We get, that Noah's one thing, big thing that he did was he built the ark, but we don't know anything else. When we think of Gandhi, we think of, he's a big revolutionary who did a lot of these great things for India. He led these marches. He was, he fasted, he prayed, but he also had this strange practice of sleeping next to young girls to prove prove that he was a pious and religious man. Like, that's kind of weird. We don't really hear about that, but it happened. You know, there was something there, and some people talk about, you know, there's rumors like he had some affairs. You know, like, we hear the great thing, but there's always something underneath, you know. Or if we think of, you know, Thomas Jefferson is famous for, you know, saying all men are created equal, but he was very, very racist. So, I don't know, you know, like, we hear the great thing, you know, and even for, you know, a lot of kind of villainous people throughout history, apparently, so we've all heard of Lizzie Borden. There's like a whole poem about her. She chopped her family to bits with an axe, and she, you know, it was really a gruesome story. But did you know she was also an animal lover? And she was also very wealthy. And she gave, upon her, in her will, she gave $30,000 to animal shelters. So there's a whole other story. Saddam Hussein is a known tyrant, you know, who's, you know, is known for spreading terrorism and being a dictator. But apparently he really believed in education and made this big campaign about, you know, eradicating illiteracy. There's always another story that we don't hear about. And every time I hear Noah's story, I have to think about what else was going on. You know, my husband will joke with me every now and again. Well, I think it's a joke, where he'll say, babe, I got the call. I gotta go to Korea for, you know, 40 days, and I'm leaving tomorrow. And I'm like, no, you're not. You're staying here. Like, he's like, but babe, I gotta pray. I gotta be religious. I gotta learn all the things. Nope, you're staying here. I need your help. You're not going. But God said. And then a couple days later, babe, I gotta be a monk in Tibet. I gotta learn their ways. And it's gonna take me 7 years, okay? God told me so. And I said, heck no, you're not going. And if, you know, my husband was to say, God told me to make an ark on a mountaintop, you know, in the desert, and it's gonna take me 120 years, heck no, like, it's not happening. I will not allow you to do that, you know? Like, he's nuts. Noah is insane. And actually, the other thing I realized, it says that, in the Bible it says that Noah, the flood waters came when Noah was 600 years old. And that he had his children, it took 120 years to build the ark, biblically speaking. And that Noah had his children when he was like 550. That's the timeline that I'm looking at. So which means he didn't have children at the start of the project, and then he, along the way, he made 3 little kids and said, see ya, I'm going up my mountain, enjoy the children. Like, what? Like, I'm getting resentment just thinking about it. I'm getting upset just thinking about it. You know, and I gotta wonder, you know, when these kids came of age, and who's making money, by the way? Who's tending the farm? Who's doing all the work? If Noah's up on the mountaintop, who's doing all the work at home? The wife. Like, I am so upset with Noah right now. And it's like, so when the kids come of age and they say, go help your father build this crazy ark, is he a patient teacher? You know? Or does he have a quick temper? Does he yell at his kids? Or, you know, like, I don't know. When he's coming down from the mountaintop, does he swipe up a bouquet of wildflowers for his wife and say, thank you, my love, you know, thank you for working so hard, I really appreciate it? Or does he come home and he kicks off his dusty sandals in the middle of the living room and he just scarfs down his food and he flops on the bed in all his dirty clothes, and his wife's like, you know, like, what? We don't know what the family dynamic is. And, you know, there's 600 years of Noah's living, Noah finding his wife, Noah raising his children, you know, in that time, where there's plenty, who of us have had children and had to deal with all these family dynamics. You go in with the best of intentions and you think it's going to turn out all right, and yet they still say things like, I hate you, or you're stupid, or I don't want to eat my chicken. You know, like, there's all this time to build up this family dynamic that we don't hear about. And I have to wonder what's going on, you know? And here's another interesting point. And then they're on an ark for 40 days, 40 nights of rain, and then I think it's another, I don't know, it's like at least another, I think it's about another year or something, while they're still in the ark waiting for all this water to come down. They're living in tight quarters with a bunch of animals. Like, how stressful do you think that would be? How stressful? Crazy, you know? And another interesting point about Noah's story is that's the first time, Noah's story is the first time we hear about a vineyard. And it's the first time we hear about someone making an alcoholic drink that makes them drunk enough to pass out. Like, we don't hear about alcoholic beverages before that point in the story. So some people like to think that that was the first time that anybody had ever gotten drunk ever. Noah was the one to invent wine. That's something that people think. I don't know. But if that were true, you know, suddenly, you know, Dad's doing just fine, he's going along, he's just drinking some of that grape juice he had stored, and all of a sudden he's passed out and drunk and naked. And what does Ham think looking in, like, oh my God, what is happening? I have never seen him passed out. Is there something wrong? Is he sick? I have no idea. Brothers, come help me. Like, that seems reasonable to me. You know, like, how? We don't know. That's the point. We get the watered down version, right? So we have no idea what the family dynamics are. So we're going in our life and we're trying to figure out, you know, what are our great points, what are our weaknesses, but we, you know, we have these big lofty goals where we want to be this great person, but we don't necessarily do the work. Noah's family still had to do their individual portion of responsibility. Just because they won the lottery, in a sense, and happened to be chosen, you know, to survive this big apocalypse, it didn't mean that they didn't have work to do on themselves. They got the reset button. They got rid of all their friends that were bringing them down. Yikes, you know? But they had the chance, and still they blew it somehow. So moving back to us, modern day, you know, we think, again, we think if we could just reset our finances, our school grades, weight loss, clean house, health conditions, relationships, conversations that we have, all these places that we just want to reset. But like 70% of people who win the lottery go broke and file for bankruptcy. They got a reset on their finances, on their whole life. They had all these opportunities, and 70% of them went broke. People who go on a diet for 30 days, 30-day challenge. I'm going on this diet, I'm starting this new thing for New Year's. And by the time the diet is over, they typically have gained the weight back and then some. So we are looking for these quick fixes, these resets. We get them and they don't work. We don't use them properly because we have not done the growth, the internal growth, the internal hard work that is needed to make a life change. If we come into a sum of money, if we, you know, if let's say Dave Ramsey likes to use this example a lot, where you make all this money, let's say you become a millionaire in your lifetime, and you change your family tree, you allow your kids to inherit that money. But if they're a bunch of little jerks, guess where the money is going? Down the drain. They need the growth, they need the character, they need to know what it's like to not have money, to work for their money. They need to go through the growth. You know, we need to go through the growth needed to have the great finances, the great school grades, the weight loss, the Marie Kondo cleanup, all this stuff, the health conditions. Gosh, if I could just reset. Well, you got there because you weren't taking care of yourself, even though you promised yourself that you would. You didn't do the work. And sometimes, you know, we talk about New Year's, we had the New Year's resolution sermon, right? But we look for these times, like I'll just look. My joke. What is the most popular day to start a diet? What's the most popular day that people start a diet?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. They wait for the right time to find that right motivation. So it's New Year's, it's a marriage rededication, it's a grace ceremony, it's a workshop, it's GPA. We move to a new city, we move to a new location, we cut our hair, you know, show everyone that we're changing. New year, new me. But the clean slates and resets make no difference if the habits don't change. Growth is what makes the change, not the reset button. Okay. Make sure I'm on track here. Yeah, and I want to talk a little bit more about these workshop and GPA, and and this is. I remember, so I was at BTA, Blessed Teens Academy. I didn't go there as a high schooler, I went there as like kind of a mentor counselor. I was going through my own things and I was trying to sort some stuff out. And I saw a lot of kids come and go. I saw a lot of them come in who didn't really want to be there, and they didn't want to be there really the whole entire time, and they left and still didn't want to be there. They came in lukewarm, kind of like, I don't know, I'll think about it. And maybe they worked a little bit harder, maybe they did really well and maybe they didn't. And some people came in, they were all gung-ho to begin with, and they were gung-ho the whole time. But I'm friends with a lot of these people on Facebook, right? And I see them, it's been 5 years for them, some 7 years for them, these different things. And actually, a lot of them are still the same people that they were going into the program. If they were lukewarm when they went in, they're still lukewarm 5 years later. If they, were having struggles with their parents when they walked in, and they spent maybe they worked really hard. Actually, I know a lot of people who went to the program, they worked really hard. They're like, yes, I'm going to go home, it's going to be great, I'm going to be, all these amazing things, and my life is changed. But their family is still the same. The dynamic between their parents and their siblings and their friends is still the same. Because even though they did all this personal work over here, they didn't come back over here and do the one work that still needed to be done. That growth had not yet happened. It still needed to be done. So we want these things to change us. We want this workshop to be a clean slate. But what it does give us tools. I'm not saying they're useless. They give us tools. I gave a sermon back when on, all these programs giving us the tools we need. And many times, these tools just sit on a shelf until something breaks. And we're like, man, I need something. I need to fix my life. I'm going to grab one of these tools. So we get the tools. That's what it gives us. But just because we have the tools doesn't mean we know how to use them. So this is, and this is a message to not only that particular message about workshops and GPA and whatever, some workshop down in, wherever, it doesn't matter. We want our kids to be different when they come back, and they want to be different, but they still have to go through the growth process with you, with their surroundings. That has not changed. They have the tools, hopefully they got the manual on how to use it, but they got to use that tool. And for the younger folks who are going, we move to a new location, we go to this workshop, we go to GPA because we don't know what exactly we want to do with our lives, we don't know exactly how to fix the relationship with our parents, with our friends, whoever, and we go and we're like, we're going to do this, it's going to be great, and I'm going to come back and I'm going to be completely different. But a lot of the problems follow you. And so many people attest to the fact that they are just the same when they come back. And it's really depressing. It's really frustrating. So instead, what we want to talk about, there's a book that I came across called Mini Habits by Stephen Guise. It's a small, thin little book. They also have the audiobook version. He's done kind of a few different versions of it. But the idea is that he talks about mini habits, these little tiny things that we do every day that add up to make a lot. And it's about making these lifestyle choices. It's about, people who go on a diet and succeed, they're not on a diet. They've changed their lifestyle. People who, actually we get a reset with money every time we get a paycheck. We are given a paycheck and we said, reset. You have a chance to do, with this paycheck, you have a chance to do the right thing. Are you going to do it or are you going to not? We overspend, we overindulge, we don't pay where we're supposed to pay. But people who are starting to, do well with money, this hits home for me because, we did the financial class and Mike and I are really, united on the financial front and how we live and the things that we do. We decided, that it's not going to be, if we want to, okay, paying off debt is one thing, but actually living a life that we are proud of, that we can feel confident with. It's not just, once we pay off debt and we can live however we like and everything's going to be fine. No, we've committed to making a lifestyle decision where we're not becoming people who overindulge on all these different things that we don't need. Even if our income never, we may never make six figures. I'd like to, it'd be really nice. I don't know if we ever will. But it doesn't mean that we can't live a quality of life because we've chosen a certain lifestyle. The resets and the quick changes, they don't make a difference. It's the teeny tiny lifestyle choices that we make that make a difference. So perfect example is actually, so when we started on our financial freedom journey, I had to go to Mike. Mike was working at the restaurant or the catering, wherever he was working, crazy hours, always, almost never home. And chefs are notoriously lazy cooks at home. They cook all day, and the last thing they want to do is cook when they come home. So they eat terribly, and they eat out all the time. They're notorious for it. Unfortunately, it would be fine if it wasn't so bad for you, A, and B, if it didn't add up and become really, really expensive. So his one habit that he had every morning was to go to Dunkin' Donuts, and he would get his coffee and his oatmeal. Just a couple of bucks. What was it? $4?
Yeah.
$4. $4 a day. Who cares? Times 6. He was working 6 days a week. 4 times 6 is 24. We'll round up to 25 with cash. And then 4 weeks. That's $100. Plus, most of the time, on the way home, he would he was just starving. He didn't eat all day. He worked. He didn't have time to eat, and so he'd come home and he'd grab a burger or two. So he's spending money, and then, I'm tired, and he's tired, and nobody wants to cook, and we're eating out. So we're spending a lot of money eating out. And I said, babe, I know this is really hard, but if you could just cut back on the Dunkin' Donuts, if you could just have your coffee at home. You don't understand. I need my coffee. It's my ritual, my coffee and my oatmeal. It keeps me regular. I need it. Look, I get it. And you have every right. You're a hardworking guy, and I get it. I do. But what if I could help you? How about I make your coffee, okay? I make your coffee, and we'll make your oatmeal in a to-go container, okay? I'll make it for you. I'll make it super easy. I'll soak the oats the night before. I'll add the milk and the sugar, and then all you gotta do is pop it in the microwave for a minute. That's it. I'll help you. So it was hard. He was angry at me for a little while. But he started taking his oatmeal to go. He started taking his coffee to go. And slowly, he didn't need that Dunkin' Donuts anymore. He didn't need it. And that led to other things. He didn't need to go out to eat as much. If I knew, I said, all right, the other problem is you come home and you're starving. It's not dinner time yet, or, whatever it is. We'll send you with a snack, or, I'll have something ready when you come home, or something like that. Something where he could eat right away, and he could just skip past the McDonald's. These teeny tiny little changes. And actually now, when we have like our restaurant, we don't really go out to eat that much anymore. It was a teeny tiny little thing, but it started spreading to different parts of our plan, of our togetherness. And I think he's healthier for it. Next, we gotta go to the gym. We're working on it.
That's the best time.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Actually, we're checking out a gym, and it happens to be tomorrow. So, I want to talk more about Stephen, guys. I want to talk. The best thing to do, I figured, was this little video. So we're just going to press play, and I like the way he explained it.
Unfortunately, we've become a culture obsessed with heroic efforts. We tell ourselves, go big or go home. And we watch movies where all that the hero does is Herculean great efforts. But the truth is, our lives and great things are done in our lives only through small, daily, incremental improvements. And that's what Stephen Geist talks about in this book, Many Habits. I had the pleasure of interviewing him as well, and we talked a lot about these things. So, my personal story, I wanted to start meditating. A year ago I said, okay, I'm going to start meditating. I'm going to do 30 minutes every day. 30 minutes every day was my goal. Unfortunately, I ended up not even sitting down to meditate most days of the week, and ended up only doing meditation probably on the weekends, once or twice a week. And then I would try to make up for the fact that I had not done 30 minutes every day. So I would try to do 60 minutes in one sitting, and that would also not work out. So that was a pretty tough period for me. For a month, for a period of around 2 to 3 months, I kept on trying. I would keep on trying for this 30-minute window every day, and it never worked out. And then I learned what Stephen has talked about, which is Many Habits, and I said, okay, I'm going to make this really, really, really small, which is I'm going to make this my goal to just meditate for 5 minutes a day. I'm going to make it so easy that no matter what, I can accomplish it. I may not be able to sit down to meditate for 30 minutes, but 5 minutes I can manage. Somehow, somewhere, I can manage. Whether I'm in an airplane, whether I'm traveling, whether I'm in a car, on a road trip, wherever I am, I'm sure I'm in a hotel, I can find a way to do it. And what happened as a result was, it became a habit to the point where today, right now, this morning I did 20 minutes, and nowadays every day I do 20 minutes. So what happened was, even though I only wanted to do 5 minutes, once the 5 minutes happened, on most days I would end up doing a little more, and almost like 10 minutes of meditation became the standard for a while. And that after a while it became a habit, and I was able to improve upon it. And that was only because I started small and then built on big. So let's talk about why. Why do many habits really work? Here's the problem. Our willpower is very limited. So whenever we try to do something new, try to change our automatic behavior, we have to overcome a lot of resistance. And if you've studied physics, you know Newton's laws of motion. The first law is an object in rest continues to stay in rest, an object in motion continues to stay in motion until an external force is applied. And that's true for our brains as well. We have a lot of inertia and we don't want to change. The brain resists any new change. So if you make the change so small that there's almost no resistance, then it's really easy to get into it. That's why it really starts to take hold. The other key is that even though I'm doing very small 5-minute meditations every day, over time this effect compounds and builds on it and builds and becomes bigger and bigger and bigger to the point where the habit takes real strong hold, and now it would be tough to break that habit. Another understanding that another reason why this works is that you start to feel successful. As you go on, as you start to do more, as you start every day and you sit down, and I sat down to do 5 minutes of meditation, I would feel successful. I'd feel that I had accomplished my goal, and that would actually motivate me to do more meditation. I would say, I've done 5 minutes, I can sit for another 5, I can sit for another 10, and it would build on itself. So it works, and there's a reason why it works. And how can you implement many habits in your life? First of all, a really important thing is to make sure you break down your goal. Whatever goal you have, let's say you have a goal for exercising 2 hours every day, break it down. Maybe all you need to do is 1 push-up every day. and then 1 push-up will become 2, and 2 will become 4, and 8, and 16, and so on and so forth. That's actually what Stephen Guys did. So you cannot fail. That's the kind of goal you want to have. You want to have a goal that's so small that you cannot fail. The other key you want to do is you don't want to cheat. So what that means is don't secretly expect yourself to do an hour of workout even though your goal was to do 1 push-up that day. So just set yourself a very small goal, and when you meet it, you feel really happy. That's the whole point. And the third and probably one of the most important things is you want to do it every day. No matter what, the goal is so small, you gotta stick to your schedule and get it done. So there you have it, Many Habits by Stephen Guys.
So I found this very, very interesting. I actually really liked it a lot. I've been doing like teeny tiny things that are making a difference. So I need to drink more water. I actually I've had kidney stone issues since high school. I've had kidney stones, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 times. You know, it's never been super, super serious, but the point is, part of it is I don't drink enough water. So my mini habit is to, I was already drinking 1 cup of water every day. Like right before coffee, before breakfast, before anything, the first thing I do wake up is I drink 1 glass of water. So my mini goal is to drink 2 glasses of water. And actually, me drinking water begets me wanting to drink more water. So I end up drinking a lot more water before I eat throughout the day. So just this one tiny thing, that's my goal. 2 cups of water in the morning. And you know, I end up drinking a lot more during the day. You know, my body likes having more water, so it likes being replenished. So it's like, please, give me more, give me more. You know, or what I had started doing a while back is when practicing patience with my children, I know like especially when it's time to go, or like I just want to get something done, I want to move on to the next thing, kids just move really slow. And it's so frustrating, and you're like, can you just please get up, just do it right now? And they're just like, they find ways. And I found myself becoming so impatient. So I started going, okay, after I ask them, I will wait 15 seconds. I will count to 15. And if by 15 seconds, in my head, not even to them, just in my head for my own personal gain, I will count to 15. And if they don't start making moves to actually do the thing, then I will ask them again. So I say, Serena, please go brush your hair. Okay, Mom. She's still sitting there. She's like not getting up. And I'm waiting, like, but sure enough, by like 7 or 8 seconds, she finishes what she's doing, whatever it was she was doing, that last little thing, and she gets up and she does it. You know, my son is like, okay, Josh, it's time to put the book down, like it's time to get dressed. And he's like, okay, I'm doing it. But you're clearly not doing it. I'm looking at you, reading this book, looking through this book, playing with your toys. You are clearly not doing it. Please do it now. No. So he flips through his pages, he does it, 10, 11 seconds in, he's moved on and he's doing his thing. A teeny tiny little thing that helped me practice just a little more patience, you know. So, you know, these things are kind of thought to be really just kind of something that it's for self-help, it's for you know, to lose weight, for your finances, for, you know, to get more fit, to, you know, any number of things. But that's typically what the book is about. But I want to push it further because above all these things, what's most important is our relationships. That's like amongst all other things. Relationships, how happy we are in our relationships, these are the big indicators as to whether or not we are happy in life. So these are kind of the things I wanted to push, you know, to talk about a little bit. So, you know, when I think about, you know, like we think about our relationships, we think about a couple relationship, we think about parent and child, you know. So like I know a couple who the husband can fix he fixes homes for a living, he can do great things in other people's homes. But when he comes home, he does not do much. He like will not fix the things. He can fix the heck out of everybody, you know, he can refurbish a whole house, but he won't do it in his house. And guess how his wife feels? She doesn't feel good. She feels really angry and frustrated. And how do you think that affects their horizontal relationship? It gets really frustrating. But what if he just said, okay, mini habit, I'm just going to do one tiny thing in the house every day. I'm just going to wipe down this toilet seat real quick. There's this teeny tiny hole. I'm just going to patch that little thing. I'm just going to do one teeny tiny thing every day. She may not notice right away, but over time, she notices. How do you think that makes her feel? Ooh, that feels good. I can see you're changing. I can see you're making a difference. It wasn't a big grand overture in some romantic movie where he brings her flowers. Honey, I'm so sorry. I promise I'll be a better man. No, he just is a better man. He just is, you know. And for me, I will go through the whole day. I can be in business mode for so long, and I will just bam, bam, bam it. And I have what's called RBF. Resting itch face is what it's called. There's a B in front of it, but that's like the term where like, even if I'm just looking neutral, I just look like I'm mad. So I will be going through the whole day looking like I'm mad, but I'm just focused. I'm just trying to get point A, point B, I'm just doing it, I'm getting it done. And Mike will be like, are you okay? I'm fine, I'm doing fine, like it's fine. Are you sure you look, no, I'm fine, you know. And in the process, you know, Mike is a very physical guy. You know, he likes tenderness, he likes to be touched, you know, just handhold. He likes these things, but in my business mode, and me looking so angry all the time apparently, you know, I have to remind myself that that's important to him. So if I were to take, you know, once a day, just making these moments of just squeezing his hand, a 30-second back rub, something to show, you know, that, yes, no, I haven't forgotten about you. Yes, I'm in business mode. Yes, I'm doing all these things. But I haven't forgotten about you. I still love you. I still appreciate you. And it's a tiny little gesture. And how do you think that makes him feel? It makes him feel so good. You know, if you're the parent who freaks out every time your child tells you something they did wrong, what if your goal was to just neutral face? You don't even have to smile. You don't even have to talk. Just neutral face. Just listening. You know, when you're arguing with your spouse and you just feel like you just want to say that one last word, that one last thing, because that's going to make you win. You just breathe out and you just don't have the last word. These teeny tiny things, you know, make a big difference. You know, I joked with, I was talking with someone, Mike and I are terrible with gifts. Christmas, I don't think we got each other anything. His birthday, was actually yesterday. And, I kind of, didn't really plan anything, prepare anything. We ended up doing, something as a family, but, I was joking with a friend. I was like, yeah, we're just terrible at gifts. He's like, really? You don't make him get you anything? And I'm like, but the thing is, he's sweet every day. I don't feel like I need this big bouquet of flowers. I feel like if he was a jerk a lot of the time and he was like, well, at least he could do something nice for my birthday. It's my birthday. He should be taking care of me. He doesn't do squat the rest of the time, but he can take care of me. I don't feel the need to do that because every day he's sweet. Every day he's helping me out. Every day he's playing with the kids. Every day he's telling me how beautiful I am. I'm not even kidding, he does. And as terrible as it is, I get annoyed. I'm like, yeah, I know, okay, moving on. I know, it's bad, right? I should appreciate it more. That's my mini habit. Just appreciate it. Say thank you and, appreciate it. But when we think about these relationships that have lasted 60 years, when we think about the relationships with our children, you know, it's not about these grand gestures. That like doesn't make a relationship last. It's about the things that are done every single day. You know, when we thank our spouse for working so hard, when we appreciate it, they care a little more too. They feel it. You don't ask for recognition. You don't need to be asked for recognition, but you just do it. And it's these tiny, tiny little things that turn you into this hero that you're hoping to be. But you have to do the work to get there first. So just kind of take a minute, some personal, I'm going to be quiet for a couple minutes, and you're going to think about a target, okay? Whether maybe it is, you know, getting fit, maybe it is taking care of your health, maybe it is finances. But if you can push yourself, think about a relationship that you're having, you know, that you're having a difficult time with. Identify that target. And identify a mini habit or two. Don't do more than 3. The recommendation is more than 3 is too much. But something very small that you can do, that your body doesn't even have to fight you on, you know? Like it's just so small and doable. That you can, this mini habit that can change that relationship, change that family dynamic. And something that you can complete every day. So give it a minute. I'm going to be quiet. So I'm just going to go over just the main talking points. We're wrapping it up here. The point is, grand gestures don't fix the everyday problems. People who make small changes every day don't need a reset button. They're making it happen. They're working on it. They're getting there. They don't need the reset button. They're going through their growth process. A little bit steady every single day will make a big change over time. Again, financial thing, you know, you save a little bit every single check. You know, you're like, man, I wish I had $1,000. Man, I wish I had a couple thousand in the savings account. But if, you know, and you're just like, man, I can never save $2,000. I can never save $1,000, $500. But you take a teeny tiny bit out of your check every single time. And that starts to build up, it starts to grow. All these little actions that you're making, they start to build up, and they start to grow, and they become bigger. It becomes exponential. And once it's a habit, you're not even thinking about it anymore. You can move on to the next mini habit. So apply mini habits to all areas of your life, not just this general kind of self-help, but thinking about those personal relationships. And of course, most importantly, your relationship with God. You know, how we pray, how we interact with God. Maybe we already have a habit of prayer and meditation. Maybe we don't. But if we were just 30 seconds of meditating or 30 seconds of prayer, something small that you can do every day, even right before bed, anywhere. 15 seconds. So thank you so much, everyone.
All right, let's give Sook another round of applause.